outlandish, unofficial world records, crazy weight category changes, a 270 kilo jerk, and so much more. Hello and welcome back to the return of what was once the only weightlifting news show in the world, now the OG weightlifting news show. In the build-up to what is promising to be one of the most exceptional competitions of all time, the World Championships in September, a mandatory competition for the Olympic Games, I figured I'm going to start bringing back some of the news for you wonderful lot. And we're going to kick off with the 73 kilo category, taking a look at what's going on, because Luis Mosquera, known as one of the fastest weightlifters of all time, an athlete who has won 2 Olympic medals, 2016, 2020, has just cleaned 210 kilos off blocks. Now, as a 69 kilo lifter, he clean and jerked 183 kilos. That's the most we've seen from him. This 210, and this is 10 kilos over Rahmat's world record, of course, the new world record that Zhiyong lost because he's been gone for a while. 210 is absolutely enormous. Can he jerk it? Can he make it from the floor? Probably not, because it relies on his best asset, which is just speed in the turnover. But even so, it's a stunning lift. And that 73 kilo category is very exciting. I mean, even guys like Rit Vasuharis, who just won the European Championships, doubled 150 kilos in the snatch. And then we have Rizki, Rizki Giulia, the 2-time junior world champion, one of my favorite weightlifters ever. One of my favorite weightlifters currently, I should say. He just clean and jerked 190 kilos pretty comfortably. People at first were saying that this was 210 kilos. I too thought it was, but I think that third blue is actually a green, so I think it's 190, but even so, we have seen Rizki clean 210 off blocks before. Then of course Rahmat, who is the current world record holder, he went to Cuba the other day, competed as a very light 81. He was about 75, 76 kilos, something like that. He went for a world record, 209. He looked to beat Carlos's 208 world record, back when Carlos of course was an 81, and he cleaned it and he almost made the jerk. So I think Zhiyong is in a tricky situation. He has to come back. He has to be at this competition, this World Championships in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia in September. If he's not there, he cannot qualify for the Olympic Games. So he's going to be there. But is the fisherman going to be able to beat Rahmat, Rizki, Luis Mosquera? We'll have to wait and see. Moving up a couple categories to my favorite currently category in the world, the 89s. And a lot of exciting stuff is going on. Mr. Too Much Muscle, aka Dayin, is in freaky shape. He just snatched 180 kilos in a national competition. Now that equals his own world record. He hit 180, of course, famously at the Asian Championships this year back in May. He then hit a 260 in clean and jerk. That was a 396 total. That moved him up ahead of Carlos Nassar, who'd done 395 a month prior for the world record, and then Nino had done 392 a year prior to that for the world record. Dayin's on top, and the 180 that he just did looks, I think, maybe not substantially, but certainly noticeably easier than the 180 world record he set a few months prior. It's terrifying that he can do this. There are also some clips from a squat joke journalist showing him doing some bodybuilding exercises. I guess it's pinned snatch presses seated, which I haven't really seen before. Normally a snatch press is done either in the bottom of a squat or standing and rests on the back of the shoulders. But he's actually doing it off blocks, a little bit more partial, but 100 kilos, he has some very strong shoulders. And of course Team China's in a tough spot with these 89s because they now have 3 of them that are absolutely legit. Dayin, world record holder. But then there's Gigachad, Huanhua. Then there's Tian. I mean, I said this. This is a really hot take that I gave back in May. I said China will bump Huanhua up to 102 because I thought to myself, China can only send 3 men. I'm going to send Li Fabin, maybe Zhiyong if he returns and he can beat Rahmat, and then an 89. But what if they had a 102? Could they send a 102 instead of, what if Zhiyong isn't in good enough shape? What if Carlos Nassar by the time of the Olympic Games is doing 185, 225? If they have to be sure of a gold medal, could Gigachad go up to 102 and do 185, 225? Could he total 410? Could he beat Lesman Paredes of Bahrain? And at this World Championships, Huanhua is a 102. So Gigachad is going to be thick. He's going to be absolutely stacked. And he's looking strong. I mean, already we've seen lifts, 220 kilo jerk, 230 kilo jerk, and it looked so comfortable. And he's getting stronger and stronger as the competitions go by. So he's in phenomenal shape right now. He also did a 180 kilo push press double. So we get to see him at 102 against Lesman, against, just a bunch of different Armenians, against Jinyan Song. There are so many fun athletes who he's going to be competing against that we never really thought we'd see these battles. And then of course there's Tian Tao, who's going to stick at 89 with Li Dayin. Those are the two 89s for this World Championships. And Tian Tao, again, here's what's crazy. Tian Tao, if I was Team China right now, he's my last pick for 89. I'd actually put Liu Huanhua. Liu Huanhua lifted significantly more than Tian Tao did in the total at the Asian Championships, and he only weighed about 300 grams more. Of course, Tian Tao hit the world record clean and jerk, and you can't deny just how unbelievable that is. But he's actually got the lowest total. But he's going in. He's in great shape. He just cleaned 230 kilos. I mean, that's arguably the best shape he's ever been in terms of the clean. I mean, as a 96, he did 236 it was in competition. As an 85, we saw him do 220. But 230, I mean, that is 8 kilos over his own world record. He also front squatted 280. He power clean and jerked 190. He pause back squatted 270, did a 300 kilo back squat. He's in good shape. And this 89 kilo category doesn't stop there. Arley Mendez from Chile, the 2017 world champion, some of you may remember him as being one of the fastest weightlifters in the world, brutally strong in the legs. He just snatched 175 kilos in training. That's the same weight that he hit to win, to beat Kinush Rustami, who at the time was, the best in the world. He hit that 175 back in Anaheim 2017 to become world champion. He's just done it again, and he's on the start list at 89. There's Antonino Pizzolato, who we've not seen compete, on a platform since he set a world record clean and jerk in total, 217, 392, 2022 European Championships. He's going to be lifting in Riyadh. It's going to be a lot of fun, which is why it gives me great pleasure to give you this huge news. Weightlifting House is going to Riyadh. We are the official streamers of the upcoming World Weightlifting Championships 2023 this September. By the numbers, the biggest competition ever. The first completely mandatory competition for those wanting to compete at the Olympics. World record holders, world champions battling it out once more for their global rankings. Do not miss the most exciting competition of the year, the most important competition many of these athletes have ever competed in. The whole competition, every single session, live and on demand. It all goes down at tv.weightliftinghouse.com. And you can get a discounted ticket right now. The link is down below. Oh, I also wanted to say to everybody that we saw at the British Championships over the weekend, thanks for coming out. We had a great time. We got a lot of products out to a lot of people. We managed to tease a few more products as well, which is fun. So great time at the British Champs. Let's quickly touch on the European under-23s because there are a few massive lifts. Unfortunately, basically every lift has been hidden and is not available to see, but I just want to touch on some of the big numbers. Giulia Miserendino from Italy, the 71. Once again, huge snatch, 107 kilos. Clean and jerk, 223. So again, right on that 220 kilo mark. She basically needs to start pushing up into the high 220s at the World Championships to really solidify her Olympic spot. But the best performance on the women's side by far and away was Kamila Konotop, the 59 kilo lifter from Ukraine. 107, 130. I mean, that is the winning total from the World Championships last year, Jenny Alvarez, was 234. This is 237. 237 at 59. She's an under 23. I mean, she is so flipping good. It's remarkable. I think the best total at the moment in the 59s is 238, and that comes from the Asian Championships, and there were massive lifts there. So Camilla already had the second highest total because she hit 235, I think it was, at the European Championships this year. But she's really just solidifying herself as unbeatable for all but one athlete in the world right now. And then I've got to mention the best on the men's side. Everyone knows he's my boy. Marin Stanky Leg Robu from Moldova. I'm just so thrilled for him. He lifted very well at 89 kilos. He's another guy, you can't count this guy out. 170 snatch, 170. He joins the ranks of like the Kadamars and above of the world, the Rustamis. And then he clean jerked 203. Not many surprising number of 89s are going over 200, but Robu wasn't one of them, but now he is. 373. Massive total for Marin, so just pumped for him. Okay, we'll move over now to Park Hyejeong from South Korea, the super heavy who technically is not on the Olympic rankings actually because her teammate beat her by, I believe it was a kilo, but is actually totaled more than all but 2 weightlifters in the supers, Lee Wen-wen and Sun Young-hee, but only 1 athlete per country can be in the top 10. But anyway, Park Hyejeong, she's 20 years old. She just smashed a 270 kilo back squat. Now, she didn't just do this. This is actually a couple of months old, but because I haven't done a news show, I haven't been able to mention it. It's massive. I mean, I've filmed Tatiana Kasharina back squatting 255 kilos for a double, which is, absurd. And arguably, she's got the biggest squat ever on the women's side. In fact, she certainly does within weightlifting. She apparently, in an interview, said that she back squatted 280 kilos for a triple once. Lee Wen-wen, I filmed her doing 225. She can't do 270. I'd be stunned having seen Lee Wen-wen lift if she could back squat 270. I think that Park Hyejeong has got the strongest legs in women's weightlifting right now. 270, like nothing. Over to the USA, we have a few lifters I want to mention. The first, 3 lifters all over world records. I mean, this is kind of crazy. We've got Hayley Reichardt from the 49s from Garage Strength. Now, she just jerked 125 kilos. The world record is 119, and that is held by Mirabai Chanu from India. Just blank the name there. 6 kilos over the world record. She can't clean it, but still, I mean, what is her best clean and jerk? I think the world record, the American record is 111, might now even be 112, but I think Hayley's right around the 110 mark. But 125 jerk, I mean, that is so big at 49 kilos in body weight. I mean, there's 2.5 times body weight. Do you know how good that is for a deadlift, or a back squat, or a front squat, and then a jerk? It's just remarkable. Sticking with the USA, another above world record lift, Hampton Morris. Again, these are all unofficial, of course. He's a 61, probably weighed 64 kilos when he did this, something like that. He just clean and jerked 179 kilos. The world record is 175 by Lee Far-bin, the Olympic champion Lee Far-bin. The world record holder in the snatch and total, and clean and jerk, Lee Far-bin. And he just clean and jerked 179. He then cleaned 182 kilos, 400 pounds. Got to be by far the lightest American to ever clean 400 pounds in any capacity. That is 7 kilos over the world record. Now, Lee Far-bin, I've seen him jerk like 190 out of the blocks. Ridiculous. I'm not convinced he can clean 182 kilos. Like, I don't think Hampton can beat him, of course, because he's 20 kilos down in the snatch. But if they just cleaned against each other, I'm not convinced that Lee Far-bin would win. It's, pretty remarkable lifting there from Hampton. Then the final athlete from America I want to touch on, Kate Vibert. Now, everybody knows Kate. She won the World Championships back in 2019, went to the Olympic Games, snuck a bronze medal. I say snuck, earned a bronze medal. Very, very accomplished lifter. She just jerked 154 kilos. That is 16 kilos over her own international record of 138. It's 3 kilos over the world record of 152. I mean, amazing stuff. So watching her go to this World Championships where she'll be going up against Olivia Reeves is going to be so exciting because they're just back and forth. Like, that battle is going to be huge. The battle of 49, I should have said, between Hayley and Jordan is going to be huge as well. This Worlds is going to be so exciting for so many reasons. It's just, I'm pumped for it if you couldn't already tell. But huge lifting for Kate. Oh, she also back squatted 195, which is officially more than I've ever done. So that's incredibly impressive. Let's see. 190. Okay. But still, I mean, an absolutely massive lift. She says 200 coming soon. That is so strong. Huge shout out to Kate for that. She's clearly in good shape right now. 2 more lifts I want to talk about before we wrap up. One of them is, they're all overhead. The first one is the lightest person, I believe, on video to have jerked 270 kilos. 270 we don't see very often. We've got, there's an old video of Uda Chen hitting 270 where he just walks through the rack and jerks it. We have, in the past I've seen a video of Lalian hitting it. We've seen Kuklaev hit it. We've seen Lasha clean and jerk it. So there are lifts out there where it happens. But Simon Martirosyan, X109, current world record holder in the total, now moved up to super, he doesn't weigh 130 yet, I'll put it like that, which makes it double body weight. I don't believe he's over 135 here. I think he's about 128. He just jerked 270. I think he's the lightest to ever do it. If you disagree, let me know. But I can't think of anyone who's done that. I mean, there are tales of, Pizorenko supposedly clean and jerked it. And he probably weighed 123, 124 when he did it. That sort of thing. Klokov supposedly jerked 260. and his dad did 275 apparently. But again, no video, so we can't prove it. And then the final lift I want to touch on is Lasha Talakhadze, the strongest weightlifter of all time. I've never really seen him do strict presses before. You know, every time I film him, he power cleans and then a little bit of a dip and drive. He just uses some momentum to press the bar overhead. It's basically a push press. But here, seated presses, 110 kilos for a set of 8. Realistically, could have done 11. You know, another 3 maybe. I took the liberty for us all, I hope you don't mind, of just running that through a 1 rep max calculator, just to see what he could strict press. It comes out around the 150 kilo number, which I guess is probably what I assumed he would be able to do. So 150 kilos is massive. If you enjoyed the news show and you want me to do more, just let me know. Head to weightliftinghouse.com, head to tv.weightliftinghouse.com and get a cheaper World Championships ticket. It's, you know, honestly, it's an honor of my life to be able to do these things, to be able to stream and do commentary and bring my passion, hopefully do the sport justice and put it all together for you all to watch. So if you want to watch the World Championships, and you have to watch it, it's the biggest moment of the year for weightlifting, then yeah, tv.weightliftinghouse.com. I'll see you there.